Hey guys, welcome back. And today we'll be solving another problem from Codeforces. And this one's called as a string task. It's 118A and it's called a string task. So basically, up here, Petya. So what she wants us to do is a bit of conversions. So she considers A, E, I, O, U, and Y as vowels and the rest as consonants. And she wants us to convert the input string into something which has only dots and consonants, not vowels. So that's the thing, and it should be lowercase. So, like for example, if you see the first string TOUR has two vowels O and U. So you remove those O and U, and you're left with T and R basically, and then you place a dot before each consonant. So before T you have a dot, before R you have a dot. And similarly for Codeforces, it had removed all the vowels A, E, I, O, U, and Y, and it was left out with C, D, F, R, C, and S. So you convert everything into lowercase, and before each consonant, you put a dot. That's what we got to do, and we'll be solving this using Java. So let's go ahead and let's code it. Yeah, basically, let me call this thing as string task. Yeah, that's what I'm going to call this. Okay. Yep. Okay, for this I'm going to import two things. One is java.io, which is for the input like buffer reader, and I'm going to import java.util because I'm going to be using two lowercase, right? Because I have to give only lowercase letters, not it has to be converted. Let's write the main function. Public static away, and since I'll be using buffer reader, I have to say throws IO exception. That's there. Next, we'll go ahead, we'll initialize the class buffer reader br is equal to new buffer reader new input string reader system dot in. Okay, now once that is done, first thing is we have to get the string. So we say string str1 is equal to br dot readline. That's it. We've got the string. And what we got to do, we have got to convert the string into lowercase first. So let's do that. Let's go ahead and convert the string. So str1 is equal to str1 dot to lowercase. Okay. So now once we have converted it to lowercase, we have got two works. One is placing the dots and the other is removing the vowels. So I am going to be using a string builder for this, because in string builder it's easy to manipulate the string. Not in string it's a bit hard. That's why I'm going to be using a string builder. First job is to remove the vowels. Let's go ahead and create a function for that. So let's call this public static, and this is going to return a string builder. So we say string builder, string builder, and we'll call this as remove vowels, and it takes in a string as its input. Okay. First off, we have to create that array of vowels, which is A, E, I, O, U, and Y. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll call this character array, and we'll just call this as vowels, and we'll give it as A, E, I, O, U, and Y, because you don't have to worry about the uppercase letters because we have converted everything to lowercase. Yeah, now I'm going to be seeing if the string contains the vowels. So to do that, what I had in mind as a plan is converting this vowels, the character array, into a array list of characters, because using that I just have a simple function to check if the string contains these set of vowels. That's what I'm going to be doing. So we'll call this as list character, and this one will be lchar, and array dot as list of the vowels. Yes. Now once that is done, so we have to convert the given string into a string builder, and that is really easy, because you just write sb is equal to new string builder, and inside there you can give the input as a function. So once that is done, what we have to do is check if the vowels are present in the position, like are they present in that string builder. So what we do is we go for int I equal to 0, I lesser than sb.length I plus plus. So what we gotta do is first we'll see if lcat dot contains sp dot caret I. So we traverse over the string and we see if lcat, which is a list, array list, contains any of this. If it does, we have got to replace it. Basically, just remove it off. So we say sb dot replace. The starting would be I, ending would be I plus 1, and we replace it with an empty string. Nothing. So just replacing it. So it's more like removing it, but we have to use replace function. And we have to return SB. But there's one thing which you got to keep in mind out here, because each time you remove it, you're basically shifting a character which was in the earlier position, like one place before. So like let's go to the example itself. So when we remove O, what happens is it becomes TUR. It's no more TOUR. So U will be shifted from the second position, the second index, to the first index. So in that case, we'll have to make sure that I also has that kind of tendency. So we have to reduce I. So we do I minus minus. I hope everyone has understood that. If not, I'll go over it again. So initially it checks O and it is a vowel, so it removes it. And when it removes it, what happens is it's no more T hyphen UR, it's TUR. So it is just three string, it says a string of length 3. And another thing you have to know is that the index of U, that like the next character or the characters after that, have all been shifted one place up. So I, the next time will be increased. So we'll go from 1 to 2, but U is no more in the position 2. It has been shifted to 1. So because of that, you reduce that I value. Okay, now that is one function. So we'll say sb dot, we have to remove the vowels first. So we say remove vowels. Yeah. Now the next is replacing the dots before a consonant. So basically for every letter we have to place a dot. That's what we're going to do. We'll say public. We'll make this static. And we'll also return string builder for this. And we'll name the function as place dots. And inside here we give string builder as input, because we have actually converted it, right, from a string to a string builder. So this is what we have to work with now. So now we have to place the dots before each character which is left out. So I'm going to be using a variable called j, because using that j I'll be getting a particular character, a particular position, and then for I, the variable to traverse over the string, input dot length I plus plus. And what we got to do, we've just got to replace it. So we say input dot replace of I comma I plus 1. We have to replace it with a dot and the character which was originally there. So input dot caret of j. That's what we are doing. So we take the first position and the position just after that, one position and the position after that, and then there will be just one character in that case, because you don't count the last position you're taking. So it's just one character, and that character, what we'll do is we'll replace that with a dot and that character. So like T and R, the two will be turned to TR, and then it will be turned to dot TR. But now what we got to do is we have to increase our j value and our I value. So first we'll increase the I value because we are adding a new character. Like we reduced it here because we are removing it. Here we are increasing it because we are adding a new character. And the j has to be increased by 2, because when you increase by 1, you'll be just following up with that same character again. But when you increase it by 2, you count for that shift and you go to the next character because of the shift. you have to increase it by 2, and you have to return the input. Okay, now let's call that function place dots. We give it a string builder, and let's print out this string, and we print out SB. Okay, now let me run this code. So first we'll do it with tour. It gives you dot t and dot next Codeforces. Yes, it's working perfectly fine. Let's take the last one. Perfect. It's doing its job. Now let's go ahead and let's submit the code we have just written. So the code name is string.task.java, and let's go ahead and submit it. In queue, and it's accepted. Awesome. We have just solved another problem on strings using Java 11. And thanks a lot guys for watching. If you want to be watching more such videos, do consider subscribing. And that's it from me in this video. We'll see you in next video. Thanks a lot.